Today we're recording Sunday service. So on the ground we have the Behringer XR 18. That's just a digital mixer that we use in our youth room. Makes it really easy to track multiple inputs and outputs. And then two PSM 900s for monitoring for the singers. Over on the desk, we're using the Universal Audio Apollo Twin, and I'm just using that to monitor everything coming out of Logic, just so I have something independent of the recording interface. Over on the computer, I'm running two programs, XR to set up headphone mixes and my preamp gains, and then Logic to track directly into backup drives because we don't want to lose anything. And then I've got my UEs that I'm listening to everything through and a talkback mic. So that's everything that's happening on the desk.
Other worship leaders get ready like that. I get ready like this. The walking miracle.
Back home, now the next step is to edit and clean up the tracks, and I'm going to send those off to Johnny. Johnny's going to put some percussion on it. So before I send this off, just a quick overview of what I did. Color coding, naming, making sure everything's in the right place and grouped together in a way that makes sense. And then the big thing is making sure that everything is tempo mapped, so when Johnny and Adam are tracking, everything is in time as well as in the right key, and Logic makes that really easy to do. So you can see we've got a couple of tempo changes and a few key changes as well. Great, so I've got the tracks back now from Johnny and Adam. Let's hop in Logic and start mixing. So as far as guitar goes, I'm going right out of my pedal board into the Blackstar HT20 that you see behind the Latte, and that is a really great way to take the emulated out and get a good sounding guitar tone without having to do much modification or miking it up. Just a couple of revisions to be made, and then it's off to Javon to be paired with the video. Let's do it. So I've opened up MixerView here in Logic just to show you what the final product looks like. Everything's labeled and colored. And to work backwards from my mastering chain, I have a loudness meter. I'm aiming for about -14, -13. We stream to so many different platforms, it's hard to nail down a specific number, but if I'm in that range, I'm pretty good, I found from just the couple of weeks that we've been doing this. Shadow Hills mastering compressor, I love this. 2 stages of compression, and then a really great transformer colored sound on the output. This is fantastic. It really holds everything together, adds just a right amount of density to the mix. Pultec Pro, again, just an EQ there, and then a little more of a surgical EQ with the Logic stock one. Everything's going into buses, nothing directly hits the master out. A little secret weapon that I have here is the soft tube saturator. It just drives the bus a little bit more, and I use that to fill up the space. I'm starting to build out more presets for these things, like in my reverbs and things like my Shadow Hills for the drum bus, just so that way as we move forward throughout the weeks, I'm doing less work and just getting a sound a lot quicker. As you can see here, I've got my Stream Vocals reverb preset. Everything's labeled. I've got my guitars here, trying to pan those hard left and right. I'm also taking use of my track folders just to make organization easier. With vocals, I have an individual track for each song, so I can mix them on an individual basis within the project. And yes, I am using pitch correction, not a lot. I still want to maintain the live feel of the set, but maybe remove some of the inconsistencies that come with the live feel. And that's a brief overview. Let's take a listen. So there's a 5-minute behind the scenes look at how audio is produced for our Sunday morning services. It's a lot more than just hitting record and then play on Sunday mornings. It's an extensive process. It travels around to a lot of people. And ultimately, it's to make sure that we're honestly and accurately capturing what happens on Tuesdays and bringing it to people on Sundays in a way that is relatable and ultimately that they can connect to and feel like they're a part of something, even with the distance.